Hello, everyone. Hello, Zoe, over in my YouTube. Good morning, Ken. All right, everyone, I am here. So, this is the part where you talk to me. So, if you have a question about something, then ask me. Answering questions is it's like a meditation for me. It's kind of healing in a way. I don't always have an answer, but I always like to try to find one if I can. So, consider it my therapy in a way. So, if you have a question, then ask me and I will attempt an answer. Hello, Crystal. Do I think phonics is a good starting place for English pronunciation practice? Yeah, phonics is still the best beginning place for any pronunciation practice, I think. I don't think there's a better system than phonics, but phonics is not very well organized, in my opinion. So that's the one problem with phonics is that not everybody who practices phonics practices the same way. So phonics is a standard thing. But the method of teaching phonics is not standard at all. And so that means everybody does phonics differently, and that's kind of a problem. So what I have done is I started creating a system of phonics practice where you begin with the vowels and you learn the short vowels and the long vowels, and then you learn the consonants, and then you start pairing the consonants and vowels together with a consonant first and a vowel second, or a vowel first and a consonant second. And you go through as many combinations of those as you possibly can. And while you're doing this, you should be paying attention to which sounds are hard for you, which sound is really difficult for you. And if it's difficult, write those down. Like, focus on those sounds. Whichever combinations of vowels and consonants are hard for you, those are the ones you need to practice the most. So yes, phonics is still the best place to begin for pronunciation practice. Some people prioritize IPA. I don't like IPA personally. I think IPA is too much work. IPA is great if you're a linguist. IPA is great if you want to study many languages, then it might be worth it for you to learn the IPA. But if you're only learning one or even two languages, then I don't really think IPA is worth it because it's too much work. It's the International Phonetics Alphabet. So basically what I tell people is the IPA is like, I want to learn English, so to learn English, I'm going to learn this other language, IPA, first. That's kind of what it feels like to me. It's like you're learning a language to learn a language. And the other thing is, native speakers of English from America, 99% of native speakers do not know IPA. 99% of native speakers do not know how to read pronunciation symbols at all. Because we don't learn that. We learn phonics. That is phonetics. Phonetics is when you combine the sound with a symbol. Phonics is just when you have the letters and the corresponding sound. That's it. But there's nothing in between. Is word hyphenation common, and is it allowed when writing an essay? It's pretty common, yeah, it can be. It depends on what you're talking about, but it definitely can be. Is it allowed when writing an essay? Yes. Again, it depends on the context and how you use it. And it depends on what kind of essay you're doing. There are some hyphens that are self-created hyphens that you can just add two words together and put a hyphen, and that does work. You can do that, and that is effective. However, there are some types of writing where they don't want you to use that kind of speculative language. Speculative means to speculate, means like to imagine or to wonder about what it could be. Okay, so if you're not sure what it should be, then that's not good, right? So hyphens they're usually something that I would say on an academic paper only use approved hyphens, which means ones that you've seen before, something that's been hyphenated before, right? An official hyphen. If I'm writing in general, I can hyphenate almost any time I want to if I'm trying to connect two words to create a new idea of some kind. For example, Let's see. For example, the word like is often used with a hyphen, something like, blah, 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 like. And it means that this thing is like that thing, right? So you're talking about, for example, it is bell like, bell hyphen like. That means it's like a bell, right? It is ball like. Okay, that means it's like a ball hyphen like. So there's an example of like words, hyphen with a like, that can be used with almost anything. You can call something blah, blah, blah like. It's computer like. It's fruit like. It's not fruit, but it's like fruit. Okay? But let me see, what is the rule? Um, a well established theory, right? Well hyphen established. How is it established? It's well established, right? Or self is another one. The word self. You can put self and a hyphen and then add a word to that, and you can create a new idea, right? Self motivation, okay? Self propelling, okay? And then I'm going to give you this one more thing. So there are three writing guides that we usually use in the United States if we're making some kind of academic writing or official writing, either MLA, APA, or Chicago Manual of Style. There are three: MLA, APA, and the Chicago Manual of Style. And they're all different in different ways. They have different rules for writing. Okay, but I'm going to give you the one for the Chicago Manual of Style. Let's see. This is these are the rules for hyphens or for M or N dashes. Let's see. You can read the rest of the rules about hyphens and dashes there. Okay? Yeah, Crystal, my experience is with IPA that IPAs, there are some people, a few types of people that gravitate towards IPA. If you're a very, very particular minded person, a very detail-oriented person, then my experience is those people, they really like IPA and they do very well with IPA. But that's not very many people. I think it's less than 10% of people who have that kind of detail-oriented mind, that very focused mind, that likes that kind of detail that they have in IPA. Romesh says, if I study for 2 to 3 hours every day, will I reach C2? No, you won't reach C2 in 1 year, even if you do 2 or 3 hours every day. C2 is really hard, man. Do you know what C2 is? Look, here's the first question, Romesh. Romesh, why do you want C2 language? Why? Do you know what C2 language is? Do you have any reason to use C2 language? Yeah, it's for university. It's for master's level university. It's not even just university. C2 is like master's university or PhD. It's graduate or PhD level language. It is very, very limited. Like, where can you use this language? Okay, like, what I tell everybody is language, there are many kinds of language, and each type opens a different door, right? So slang is one kind of language, but slang does not open many doors. Slang only opens those slang doors. Okay, so if you use slang language, it's not going to be very useful because it only helps you in a few places. Okay? C2 language is almost the same as slang. Slang is only useful in a few places. C2 level language is only useful in a few places. So if you are not in a master's level program or you are not a PhD student, then you probably do not need that level of language. Do you know how often I use C2 language here? Never. I might teach a word, I might teach a vocabulary word, but I never express myself with C2 language when I'm here because it's not useful for most of what we do. Okay, so C2 is really limited in what you can do with it. So that's the first thing is you want C2 because you said, oh, C2 is the master. That's the best. So that's why I want C2. But that doesn't make sense because C2 is not useful for everyone. Okay? Like, for example, my Chinese is okay. It's not great, but it's okay. But I cannot speak at a C2 level in Chinese. I am not able to use academic level language in Chinese. But does it matter? No, because I never need to. I never, ever, ever need to speak about really, really, really academic things in Chinese. I just don't. Okay? So C1 would be a better goal. That's a much more practical goal. Okay? But even B2 is more useful than C1. Even B2 is more useful than C1. B2 is used almost everywhere. C1 is still not used everywhere. Okay? And then, Romesh, the other thing that you need to think about is C2 means you're a master of the language. If you can do C2 language, that's master's level. Now I want to ask you a question. You are from where? Is that Tajikistan? Romesh? Yeah. Okay. So, If I asked you, if I said to you, I'm going to learn your language and I'm going to be a master of your language in 1 year, what would you tell me? Right. So, why do you think it's possible to do it with English? You understand? You need to forget about 1 year or 2 years or 10 years. Don't think about how long it takes, man. Just do. All right? Sometimes when you have to go on a long journey, when you have to do a long distance of traveling, it's not useful to talk about how far it is. Just start walking. Okay? Don't be like the kids in the back of the car. Are we there yet, Dad? Are we there yet, Dad? Are we there yet, Dad? That's you. That's you right now. You're saying, I want to be there in 1 year. Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Are we there yet? Stop saying, are we there yet? And just drive. Okay? I'm not saying that you can't be good. You can be good if you practice hard. In 1 year, if you work hard, you can be good. But you can't be a master of anything in 1 year. And that's obvious. I can't be a master. To be a master is to be a master. That takes your whole life. Nobody can do that in 1 year. Okay? So if I say I'm going to learn tennis in 1 year, no, you're not going to be a master of tennis in 1 year. If you learn soccer, are you going to be a master of soccer in 1 year? No. If you learn basketball, are you going to be a master of basketball in 1 year? If you learn history, are you going to be a master of history in 1 year? No. There is nothing that can be studied in 1 year to be a master at that thing. All right? It's not possible. All right? So what's the point of being a master if you only get to master things at the end of your days? Okay? But see, I didn't necessarily say that you have to be at the end of your days to be a master. But I did say that you can't do it in 1 year. So mastery does take different amounts of time for different people, right? So there are some people who are considered a master of something after maybe 10 years or 15 years of doing something. Maybe they're considered a master in their field. But mastery is something that you must have at least 10 years, to call yourself a master of something. That's my opinion. Okay, and even 10 years, I don't think that's not like a real master. Okay? Like, I study the drums, okay? And some of the drummers that I study, they've been learning drums for 50, 60, 70 years. You know? So, yeah, they're masters, you know? And I've been playing the drums. I've been playing the drums for 35 years. But I still don't call myself a master. All right? We all know that 10,000 hours makes you a master. That's not really true. I mean, that number is just a random number. It's not a real number, okay? Like, that number is supposed to make a point. It's not supposed to be a real number. It's just supposed to make the point that to be a master of something, you must do far more practice than you know. The amount of practice you do is not enough if you want to be a master. then you need to do a lot more. Okay? We always overestimate the achievement for 1 year and underestimate the achievement for 5 years. Oh, that's an interesting observation. Yeah, that's probably true. That's probably true. And it also depends on what your goal is. You know, some people, they study something for many, many years, but they have a different goal. Their goal is not to be an academic master. Maybe their goal is to be a spokesperson. They're speaking, right? They're focused on rhetoric and spoken words, right? Not written language. But then another guy might be focused on writing and not speaking. Language takes many forms. Maybe we can generalize it a bit to saying that it's a product of intensity and time. Yeah, it is. So let me tell you this, guys. I'm a musician. I'm a drummer, okay? And when I was younger, when I was about 18 years old, 18, 19 years old, at that time, I had no life except drums. The only thing in my life was drums, really. I woke up thinking about drums. I would eat breakfast, lunch, and dinner and think about drums. I studied drums 5, 6, 7, 8 hours a day, every day. In the music business, this is pretty common. It's pretty common. There is a period of time that most professional musicians will go through. Maybe it's only 1 year, maybe it's 5 years, but it's a period of time that we call being ate up. Being ate up. That means your entire life is ate up. It's eaten up by what? By this thing that you love, by your passion. That's being ate up. So we say, oh, wow, look at that guy. He's so ate up. That means, it's a slang term that means, wow, that guy he is in his period of intense study where he doesn't care about anything. He doesn't care about movies and TV shows. He doesn't care about girls and going out with your friends. They care about studying. Okay? So, yes, it does depend on individuals, and everybody is different. But if you want to be serious about something, then you have to start taking it seriously yourself. That's the first rule of being taken seriously. If you want other people to take you seriously, then you have to start by taking yourself seriously. Other people will not respect you if you don't show that you respect what you're doing yourself. Okay? If you show that what you do matters, then other people will think it matters. Okay? To what extent does the Latin origin of the word mobile from mobilis mean movable? It means exactly that. Mobilis means to move. So there are many words in English that have this root meaning to move, like the word automobile. Automobile means, auto means self, mobile means to move. So automobiles are things that move by themselves because they have an engine, right? So, Waleed, if you look up the word mobile in the etymology dictionary, you'll find a lot of words that have that root. Asma, the two words that you want me to say, the first one is throw, to throw a ball. I'm going to throw this ball, right? I'm throwing something. Through, I'm going through a door. Okay, throw and through. Did the word auto come from the word automatic? No, the word automatic comes from the word auto. Auto is the root. Auto is the root word. And that comes from Latin or Greek. Is it Greek? Let me check. Greek, autos. Yeah, so the word originally was Greek. And the word in Greek, autos, means self or same. Yeah, so the original meaning is to do by yourself. Something that's done by yourself is auto. Hello, Belen, how are you? Hello, Boo Brahim. You want to know if you can learn English with yourself? Yes, you can. Of course you can. You can teach yourself almost anything. If you are willing to be serious about it, then you can teach yourself almost anything. Okay? Especially today. Man, there are so many resources available for self-learning. I mean, really, the truth is, if you're stupid today, being stupid today is a lot worse than being stupid 50 years ago. Okay? 50 years ago, if you were stupid, well, that's not always your fault because there were not that many opportunities for learning. There was no YouTube, there were no smartphones, there were libraries and there were books, and maybe eventually there was the internet, but even 50 years ago there was no internet. So, not that the public could use, at least. So when you think about it, a long time ago, it was much harder for someone to self-learn. But today, you can go on YouTube and find a video to learn anything. TikTok, you can find a video to learn anything. There are books and videos and apps and live streams and podcasts. There are so many resources for self-studying today. Okay? Can you come on the stage? If you have a question, then you can come on the stage. Okay? I don't just talk or chat with people. But if you have a question, then you can ask me. Okay? I'm not here to just practice people. I'm a teacher. My time is too valuable to just chat. All right? I'm sorry. That sounds very arrogant. I know. But I'm saying that when I come here, I need to help everybody, not just you. And if I'm only just chatting with you, then I'm only helping you. But if you ask me a question, then maybe that question is something that others can benefit from. So that's why you have to have a question if you want to talk to me. Okay? All right, and let me answer these questions in the chat, and then I will see who's raising their hand. You're confused with the prefix in, il, im, un, dis, de, in, anti. How to remember them easily? Well, they're different ones. That's a lot of. Most of those mean not. Most of those mean not in some way, right? So if I say inept, inept is the opposite of adept. Right? So adept is like, oh, he's really good. He's adept. He's very skillful. Inept means he's not capable. He's dumb. He can't do it. Right? So in that case, means not. Ill. Let me think of a good one. moment. Like illegitimate. Illegitimate, right? We have legitimate and illegitimate. Oh no, you had I am, im, like imbalance, balance and imbalance. Okay, possible and impossible. Yeah, there you go. Let's see, dis, de, anti. These are all not. Something about not, okay, negative in some way. So they all mean something negative. Now you need to just go through and find the words that have those that are useful to you, okay? What should I do in these solitary days? How can I keep company with myself? Read, man, read. I'm sorry, but guys, reading has never been more important than now, because stupidity has never been more obvious than now. Right now, there are billions of people on the planet. Billions. And unfortunately, I would say at least half of them are not very smart. At least half of the people on the planet are not very smart. And do you know why they're not very smart? Why are they not very smart? Because knowledge is like treasure. Knowledge is like treasure. And some treasure is very valuable. Right? Some treasure is really valuable, and that's why it's hard to find. So you have to really look for it to find it, right? But some treasure is not valuable, okay? Like, how many people know a lot of information about sports? Do you know a lot of information about sports? Is that good treasure? Is that treasure that's really valuable? You have that up in your head. It's taking up space up here. It's taking up space, but is it really valuable treasure? Every piece of information you learn is treasure, but not all treasure is equally valuable. So, you can read, but it depends on what you read, right? If you read... let me think of what would be something, I don't know. Like, I like comic books, so I shouldn't say comic books, because comic books sometimes are actually very good. But if you're reading something that's stupid, like, for example, if you're reading Facebook, if you think Facebook is reading, that's not good. That's not reading. No, Facebook is not reading. You are not reading if you're on Facebook. Nope. Because that's not challenging you in any way. All right? So you need to think about knowledge is like treasure. And some people, they just don't seem to understand that treasure is valuable and that you should want it. And that it's your responsibility to get the treasure. So if you understand the idea of saving money, if you understand the idea of saving money, then you should understand the idea that some of the things that you spend time thinking about are not worth it. And maybe you should reinvest your time into thinking about things that are worth it. Okay? I like to think about your brain. Your brain is like real estate. Your brain is like real estate. So it means that there's only so much land that you can develop, right? You don't have an infinite amount of land to develop up here. You only have so much property. So what kind of properties do you have up here? Do you have cheap garbage property, or do you have good, valuable property? Understand? Okay? How are comic books good? Ophelia, comic books can be good, okay? Because sometimes comic books are written very, very moralistically and philosophically, and there are messages to be learned, often. As a matter of fact, look, I love these. Where is it? I bought these a long time ago. These are comic books, but look what comic book it is. Shakespeare, Othello. And look, how cool. Look at that. It's a comic of Shakespeare. So some comics can be quite good. Okay? All right. Please be patient. I'm almost caught up. Hold on one moment. Walid, how might one gather the scattered pieces of the heart and rise unbroken from the quiet ruins of love and disappointment? Walid, you need to study Rumi more. I think I told you this before, but you need to go look at Rumi, because Rumi has so much about love. He's got great, great quotes about love that will make you really think a lot. All right? So go do a little research into Rumi, okay? And study Rumi. You have doubts about reported speech. Okay. One moment. What does report mean? What does report mean? What does report mean? Hello, everyone? Okay, well, let's start with this. What do the letters RE mean? RE. If I say a word that begins with RE, what does that mean? It means again, or there is another possible meaning. The other possible meaning is back. Back. Okay, so like to go back. All right? So in this case, let's think of it as the meaning is to go back. All right? And then what about the word port? What does port mean? What does port mean? Report. So what does port mean? Walid, yes, the word port is a door. You're right. Sometimes the word port means door, but the other meaning for port is carry, to carry something. So the word report means to carry back. To carry back what? To carry back what? You're carrying back the information, right? They're saying, hey, here's what happened. Go tell them. Here's what happened. Go tell them. Carry this information back to them and tell them. That's what report means. So if I'm talking about reported speech, I'm saying direct speech is, I love the movie Toy Story. That's direct speech. But if I say, he said he loves the movie Toy Story, he said it, that's a report. I'm telling you what happened. Okay? So that's where we get the word report, to bring back again. It's like somebody needs to take this news back to the other people. Tell them what happened. Okay? Okay, now, I think I'm about caught up now. Oh, let's see. Can I explain the meaning of nasty and aggressive? Sure. Aggressive is a little bit more of a general word and more formal. Nasty is a little bit less formal and more, how do I say this? Nasty is informal and aggressive. Or I should say informal and strong. Informal and strong. Nasty is informal and strong. If I say he's a nasty guy or she's a nasty woman, that's a strong word. It means you really think that they are not nice. They're very rude. They're very mean. They're very unhelpful. They're very cruel. Okay? Aggressive can be a lot more general. Aggressive does not always mean something bad. To be aggressive could just mean to try harder, right? So in America, sometimes you go to see a sports game and a high school sports team, right? You're going to see a high school football game. And the cheerleaders on the side, the cheerleaders will say, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive, be aggressive. It means don't be shy. No, get in there, do it, be aggressive. Don't be shy, don't be afraid, get in there. So being aggressive is not always a negative thing. It sometimes just means to try more, okay? But I could say, I don't really like this person at work. They seem too aggressive to me. In that case, I'm saying their personality seems rough, too rough to me. I don't like their personality somehow. It's too rough. It's not smooth. It's not calm. Okay? So nasty is more informal. Aggressive is more formal. Nasty is a pretty strong word to use. We generally only use it when we're talking about someone very rude or something very disgusting. Okay? That food is nasty means it's not good. It's disgusting. Okay? But aggressive could be, I don't like this person because they seem too aggressive. That means like too forward, too rude in a way. But aggressive could be more like to try harder. Jayo, be aggressive. Okay? Hello, Tyrion. Hello, Dead. Are there any specific resources or websites for learning idioms or slang? There's a website that I use sometimes for idioms. It's just called theidioms.com. But I don't... I'm sorry. Let me try that again. I don't know why I put the space in there. Theidioms.com. It's an okay website. I have some problems with this website because some of the idioms that they have on there are very, very uncommon idioms. Some of them are even, in my opinion, a little bit wrong. But I would say at least 80% or 85% of the idioms that you find on there are pretty good. So you can try that. Okay? And as far as slang, no, there are no good resources for slang that I know about because slang is changing all the time. So every time period has slang. When I was a kid, there were many words that we used that were slang words when I was growing up. Okay, but we don't use those words anymore. Most of them. Okay. When I was a boy, we said cool. Yeah, that's cool. And we still say that one. But when I was a boy, we also used to say, wow, that movie was so rad. It was radical. Radical, or rad, was a term when I was a kid in the 1980s. That meant cool. But we don't say that anymore. Okay? You could, but people might be like, what year did you come from? So, slang is something that I don't teach, and I don't really think you need to learn because slang is just language that you use just because you want to be cool. You don't need to be cool. I'm sorry. The fastest way to be cool is to realize that you don't need to be cool. So if you're learning slang because you want to be cool, then there is a faster way to be cool. The fastest way to be cool is to stop trying to be cool. It's a paradox. I know. Okay? All right. Do I know how professional lawyers and businessmen talk? Yeah, I do. But that's a different language. As a matter of fact, the way lawyers speak, we have a language for that. That's called legalese, right? You know Chinese and you know Japanese. Have you ever heard of legalese? Legalese means the language of law. And it's difficult. It's very difficult. It often uses quite a bit of Latin. Okay, quid pro quo. This for that. Okay? Businessmen, they speak with business English. Business English is different than common English. And yes, you can learn it, you can study it. There are many, many courses online that teach business English. Okay? What does spam out mean? Spam is a word that in computers it means either it means something that someone sent to you that you don't want, right? Like an email that you don't want, or it's just some piece of information that was given to you that you don't want. Okay? It's funny because the word spam is actually a food. It's a kind of meat. What about history and story? So, Amanda, the word history is related to the word story because that's what history is. History is stories. That's what it is. Okay? Am I telling you I'm in my 40s? No, I'm 50. I'm almost 51. You want to learn the correct pronunciation of sounds of the alphabet. Okay, one moment. Let me give you the right one for you. Oops. Okay, try this page. Phonics.com. Phonics.com. This is a wonderful website if you're a beginner and you're learning phonics for the first time, or you're a teacher and you're teaching phonics, then use phonics. Where can you learn business English? Sunday Ali. Do a Google search. There are many, many, many websites that teach business English. There are so many. Okay? I can't tell you all of them. There are too many. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying to get finished with the questions, but I can't finish them. Stories can also be part of the present time, but history always talks about the past time. Not exactly. Yes, sometimes true, but what I said is more true. The word history means a collection of all these are our stories. That's what history is. It's our stories. Okay? Now, can a story be current, or does a story always have to be in the past? That depends on if you're telling a reported speech or if you're using present tense to describe a story. So it depends on the context, okay? But it's very simple. History is a collection of stories. That's what history is, okay? The meaning of the word paradox. A paradox means two things that shouldn't be true, but they are. Okay? Two things that shouldn't make sense together, but they do. Like, for example, if I say, my weakness is my strength, that's a paradox. That's a paradox. Now, I don't know how you would actually justify that, but let me give you an example of another one. Hold on. Like, if I say, he is nobody, can that be true? It can, but that's why it's a paradox. If I say, nobody goes to that bar, nobody goes to that restaurant because it's too busy. Nobody goes to that restaurant because it's too busy. That's a paradox. It's like, wait a minute, how can you say nobody goes there if it's too busy? Okay? All right. I'm going to talk to somebody online. Who wants to get raise your hand if you want to come on stage. But you have to have a question. You have to have a question. If you want to talk to me, you have to have a question. You cannot just chat with me, okay? And before I forget, I need to give you guys my file. If you don't know who I am, then everything you need is here. I just put a link in the chat. That link is my FAQ file. FAQ, frequently asked questions. So, who are you? It's in the file. When are you here? What's your schedule? It's in the file. You have a website? Oh, it's in the file. Do you have a YouTube? Oh, it's in the file. Do you have a blog? Oh, it's in the file. How can I learn how to think in English, Teacher Mark? Oh, that's in the file too. How can I learn vocabulary better? Oh, that's in the file too. Get the file. Get the file. Get the file. Okay? You cannot just click it. You have to copy it and paste it. Copy it and paste it into your browser, and then it will work. Okay? Thank you for the gifts, everyone. Hello, Jenny. This link is on YouTube. If you mean this stream is on YouTube, it is. That's my YouTube channel right there. Healthy says, you're a good speaker. You also have the gift of gab, so I want to make a story about you. So this is a kind of story. That's true. But when you tell that story, it's in past tense. So it's still the past. That's the nature of language. It's almost impossible to really talk about the present. Even when we use present tense, it's still technically the past, because I am hungry is saying now, but as soon as the words leave your mouth, it's now past. Right? So it's confusing. I know it's the mixture of language and time. There is a very, it's if you think about how language and time work together, then it is much more complicated. Don't think about it is my recommendation. But the point is that when you tell a story, even if it's recent, it's still past. Okay? Can I give you some advice about how to stop confusing A, I, and E? Okay, so you mean, Michelle, when you say A, I, and E, you mean the pronunciation of them, right? The pronunciation. And I assume you're talking about the short vowels. The short vowels. The A, I, I. I think that's your problem. Many people have a problem with this, but it's a very simple solution. The reason why your short A and your short E and your short I are not clear is because your mouth is not open enough. If you only open your mouth this much, then everything looks the same. But if you open your mouth this much, then you can make the short A is here. Apple, apple. The short E is here. Bed, bed. Apple. So watch. Bad, bad, bad. B-A-D. Bed, bed, bed. B-E-D. Ba, ba. That's big, medium, A, E. Short A, short E. Short I is even smaller. So short A, big mouth. Short E, middle mouth. Short I, small mouth. I. Okay? Is it really indispensable or pivotal that if you use very captivating or mesmerizing words in your conversation, so you're a good speaker? No, it's not just one thing. Being a good speaker means that you have good vocabulary, you have good grammar, you have good pronunciation, you have good diction, you have good dynamics, you have good articulation. There are many parts of being a good speaker, not just one. It's not just vocabulary. No. Okay? Is this link on business? Oh, you mean my file? No, it's not on YouTube. I don't know what you're saying exactly, Rose. So you're talking about when you listen to other people, not when you speak. You said when you catch a call. If it's a call, that means you're talking on the phone somehow, right? So, Michelle, I want you to see if you can record some of these calls. When people tell me that they use English at work, maybe they have business calls with people online, right? They're talking to somebody in America or in the UK or in India. If you are using English online in business, then I want you to record the calls if you can. Get permission and then record the calls. Because if you can record the call, now you can go back and listen again to that person, the same person, and you can hear their voice and you can get used to their voice. Okay? There are many parts to being a good speaker. Okay? All right. So, once again, if you want to come ask me a question, you can. But you have to have a question if you want to come on stage. Okay? So, raise your hand if you want to come on stage and ask me a question. Okay? Homer is back. Homer has a question. Let's find out what question Homer has.
Hey, teacher Mark.
Hello, Homer. How are you?
I'm good. Long time no see. Last time I entered into this live stream, seems you are complaining about the platform's behaviors or something else.
We all have bad days.
All right. Glad to hear you are back. I want to talk about something related to quality control, or something like what kind of platform that you think is good for language learning?
You know what? I'll be honest. I don't really know anymore because I have not really looked to see. So when I started learning Chinese, that was 10 years ago, and I was looking at apps then, so I knew a lot of language apps for learning languages 10 years ago, but I don't really know many now, so I'm not sure what the best ones are right now. But what I can tell you is that there are many. There are so many, right? And when I was a kid, if you wanted to learn to do something, like if you wanted to learn the drums, then you got a book about drums. Maybe you could get a video about drums, but that was it. You had one video and one book, and that's it. That's all you had, right? But now you can find hundreds of videos, hundreds of books, hundreds of live streams and podcasts and apps and all kinds of things. So are they all good? No, but I would say that the competition is so good. There's so much competition right now that anything that's available now, it can't be bad. It's not probably going to be bad, because if it were bad, then it wouldn't be on the market at all, because the competition is too much today. There's too much competition. So if something is on the market, it's probably pretty good. So you can look at it. And then you have to make a personal decision, right? So if I like this book, great. I like this book. Does that mean this book is good for you?
Yeah, I think, to my knowledge and in my own experience, I have used HelloTalk for quite a long time, more than 5 years or 6 years already. And I met a lot of foreigners, and some of them become like language exchange partners.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite a good experience. And to be honest, like you mentioned, there are so many platforms, social medias offer this or that kind of service, and their aims or goals are attract as many um, uh, subscribers or users as possible. But this competition is actually benefit for us. At least for now, as a user, I didn't pay much money to become a VIP, but I'm still making a lot of friends online and for language learning purpose or for other purpose. Social media helps a lot.
Yeah.
And
So
mhm,
yeah, so like I've been on this app for more than 12 years.
mhm,
And and here's what I'll say is yeah, this app is still a good app for learning, but not good for everybody. Okay? And why do I say that? Because it used to be when I was younger, if you bought a product, that product had value and you could see the value and buy it. So let's say I'm buying a board game. I want to buy a board game, so I'm going to buy that board game. And it's going to cost me $10 to buy this board game. Okay, I spent $10, but I look at the board game and I can see the value. Oh, this is definitely worth more than $10. Okay, that's great. No problem. But today, products are not the same. And what I mean is you might buy this. Maybe you pay for the VIP. But does everybody have the same value when they buy the VIP? No.
no,
Because some people will use it and really, really use it. They'll really study and they'll make really good use of this tool. Some people will buy the VIP, but they won't really use it and won't really do much with it. So that means that today the value of a product has a lot more to do with you and how well you can use it. Can you use it well or not? So some people will say, is this product valuable or not? Of course it is valuable, but how valuable it is, that's up to you. That's up to you. You have to make a choice. Do I want to make this valuable or not? Am I going to really, if I buy this, am I going to find out how do I really use this thing so I can use every part of it? Like HelloTalk is a perfect example because HelloTalk, to be honest, HelloTalk's biggest problem is the fact that they're too big. And I mean, they have too many things on the app. There's too much to do. It's too many choices. It's too much. They have social media and they have, posts that you can make and they have AI that you can study and they have language exchange and they have voice streams and they have live streams. It's too much. And nobody is using all of it. Nobody
yeah.
is.
I think there are too many products like you mentioned because they are catching up with another competitor's application.
Right.
They all using AI or
Yeah.
advanced technology to enhance their application, but for language learning purpose, I guess majority of users like me, they only need to talk or make some friends online and become like language exchange partners because to hire or have a language tutoring professional one will spend quite a lot of money. But if you can meet someone online which is a native speaker, I think the best teacher is still your hobby. Like the the strongest motivation inside your heart can like motivate you to learn a hard language. But someone who is like a rich family born kid, they lack that kind of motivation.
So we
So
have a
even
saying for
there,
that. We have an idiom. We have an idiom about that.
yeah.
Do you know the word hustle? Hustle.
Mhm.
Hustle. Hustle. To hustle, it
Yeah,
means like to
yeah.
try hard, like jayo, hustle, right?
Mhm, mhm, mhm.
And in English, we say hustle beats talent when talent doesn't hustle. And what that means is if you try hard, you can beat the guy who's more talented because sometimes that really talented guy is lazy.
Yeah,
Sometimes the guy
yeah.
who is so talented, it's so easy for him that he doesn't really try. So here's what happens when you're starting out. the guy who has the natural talent, he's up here, and you feel like, oh, I'm no good, I'm terrible, and he's so good. But he's kind of lazy because it's so easy for him, so he stays right where he is. But you keep trying. You keep working, you keep trying, you keep trying, you keep trying. And here's what happens. Eventually, now you're the same as them, but they're still lazy. So now, hustle beats talent. Hustle means you're trying harder. So if you try harder long enough, sometimes you'll beat the people who are more talented than you because they did not work hard.
Yes, I think being a teacher sometimes could be a little bit frustrating because a lot of kids are under pressure to learn new things. So you need to push them to give them some like motivation to do so. But this kind of feeling is quite hard, right?
Well,
So
it depends. I think motivating kids to learn is actually easy. Motivating kids to pass a test is not.
yeah, yeah,
So that's the problem is that in school, most of the time, they're not motivating you to learn, they're motivating you to pass the test. And those are not the same thing. That's why so many Chinese people, they passed the English test. But if you speak to them, all of a sudden their English is not very good. Right?
yeah. They are lacking that kind of language environment to practice
Well,
and
that's what everybody
pronunciation.
says. That's what everybody says is that you don't have the environment. But that's one of my secrets, right? This is one of the things that makes me popular here. Why do so many people follow me? Because I have one idea that I tell them that they haven't heard before. And that idea is that when you're walking around, if you're walking around and you're not talking, are you still thinking about language?
Nope.
Think about it. If you're walking in the store, you're not talking, but are you thinking about what you see?
Usually, if I live in mainland China, so if I walk in a store, pretty much like I don't have anything in my mind in
yeah,
English.
but you just said in English. I didn't say in English. I said, are you thinking? I didn't say what language. I just said, are you thinking? Yes, you are, right? So if you go to the store, 今天我需要买什么东西？这个就是非常贵，为什么就是太贵了？You know, like whatever, right? You're thinking those things, right? So all I'm saying is you can practice English all day if you just change those things to English. So when I go to the store, I live in the United States, man, but I can practice Chinese anytime I want to. All I have to do is just think about my day in Chinese.
But I think majority of us mind are occupied by mother tongues. Like we all think in our like
Yeah, we do. That's the
native
point.
language.
That's the point. That's what I'm trying to say is this is the problem with language learning is that you think that when you learn a language, you're supposed to translate everything from your native language to the new language. No, you're not. What you're supposed to do is learn how to read that language, learn how to write that language, learn how to speak that language, learn how to listen to that language, but you also need to learn how to think in that language. 所以如果我说中文，我想中文，没有翻译。
Have you ever talked to some native Chinese speakers for like more than 3 years? I think your pronunciation in Chinese is quite good.
2016到2020，我住在台湾教英文。
Oh, I think that's a reason.
Well, it's one reason, but the truth is, no. When I lived in Taiwan, my Chinese was not so good yet. Not at all. No. So I was living there until 2020, and then COVID happened. And I came home for a visit, just to visit my family, and then COVID happened. And so I could not go back to Taiwan. My whole life in Taiwan was destroyed. And I had to stay home now because of COVID. And so then I got so mad. I was like, oh no, I'm going to lose my Chinese because now I'm home, right? So this is when I started thinking about it, and I remembered that I'm a drummer, and I love the drums, but I can't practice drums all the time because if I want to play drums at 3 a.m, my neighbors will be very angry.
But I think in America, the house are always like a white hot and
They are,
far away from.
yes, but not that far. Drums are loud. Okay, so my neighbors can hear it. So I practice, but I practice in the daytime when I'm not bothering anybody, right? But the point is, though, if I want to practice at night, I can.
In your mind.
Yeah. And so I can walk around and think about drums anytime, anywhere. I don't care where I am, I can think about music. So then it made me think, wait a minute, what's the difference between music and language? They're both sound to make expression. That's it. They're just sound and expression. So music and language are really the same. So I speak English, and I speak Chinese, and I speak music. I know 3 languages, okay? And so my point is that musicians, we know this. Every musician knows this. We live with music in our heads all the time. We live with music in our heads all the time. So then I told myself, if I can think about drums and I can think about music, why can't I think about Chinese? So I started, and I would just wake up and I would look around and say, 这个中文怎么说? 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 And I would start with simple things like, 今天的天气就是好热. Like something simple like, or I wake up in the morning and I think, 今天我需要做什么? Right? What do I need to do today? Right? And I just start with little simple things. And then if I don't know, if I can't say it, then I'll say, oh, I'll write it down. That's my homework.
Yeah, that's a good habit for learning a language.
It's a very
I
good
like
habit.
learning.
Especially because there's one other thing. This is why this is good, because when you learn a language, the vocabulary you get, it's the vocabulary from a book. And it's like, are all those words good for you? No, because you don't know, well, you don't know if you will ever use those words. But when you learn vocabulary this way, you're learning about your world. You're translating your entire world into another language. That's useful. That's practical. Everything that you're learning is something in your real world. So that means the vocabulary you're learning is useful. Okay? And Aries says, but I'm not sure whether I'm speaking correctly or not. That's okay. Why do you have to be right the first time? Why do you have to be perfect the first time? Okay?
Yeah.
I say things in Chinese wrong all the time, and nobody corrects me ever. Nobody corrects me. I don't know what I'm saying. I guess all the time. When I speak Chinese, most of the time I'm just guessing. I'm like, I think that they would say it like this. I know the vocabulary, and so I just kind of put it together, right? Now, is it right all the time? No. I know that. And then sometimes I'll learn. Somebody will tell me, oh, no, don't say it that way. Say it this way. Oh, okay. But guess what? I learned because I said it the wrong way. You can say it the wrong way. It's okay. Life is not a grammar test. Okay, if you say something wrong, there's not going to be a big teacher like with a baseball bat who's going to come up behind you and hit you on the head because you said something wrong, So stop acting like you can't be wrong. This is not a test. Life is not a grammar test. So go ahead.
Yeah, I guess
say it
a
wrong.
lot of Chinese are afraid of making mistakes. Like they are doing some serious test. Once the score is low, they will
Yeah.
fail the exam.
I know.
But the life doesn't like that way, and
That's
I
right.
prefer to learn this language like a game.
If
Even
you're
I
not,
fail,
that's right.
yeah,
If you're not making mistakes, you're not making progress.
yeah.
All right?
Yeah, I play a lot of games and I fail a lot, but I still continue playing it because I enjoying this process.
Yeah, and you're learning. You're getting better each time, right?
Mhm.
When you learn how to walk, has anybody ever learned how to walk without falling down?
Yeah,
No.
exactly.
Has anyone ever learned how to ride a bike without falling down?
Yeah.
No. Has anyone ever learned how to swim without being a little scared and looking silly? No. Everybody does that the same way. So,
Mhm.
this is one problem with adults. Adult learners think that you can't be wrong because if you're wrong, then you're like a child. No, that's not true. When you're learning, learning is for every age. And learning, the process of learning, whether you're a child or an adult, you need to make mistakes. Mistakes are hard. That's part of how we learn. If you are trying not to make mistakes, then I promise you, you are slowing your learning down. Your learning is slow because you're afraid to make mistakes. You're afraid to learn. You're
Yeah.
afraid to look bad. Guys, that's why it's so important to be confident in who you are. Because when you're confident, then you don't care about what other people think, and then you can really study. But when you care about what other people think, now you're like, oh, I can't speak because I'm afraid they're going to laugh at me. Guess what, guys? I don't care if you laugh at me. Laugh at me. Go ahead. I don't care.
Yeah, I guess that kind of language ability have to be test, like a serious exam. But you have to um, not lose confidence about like people laughing at you
Yeah.
while you do some public speaking,
Yeah.
because everyone, they are still trying to be perfect. Even they are native speakers. They have to practice a lot when they do public speaking in front of audiences. So I guess for a second language, you have to allow yourself to make mistakes and still be confident to speak this language.
So there's a famous, there's a guy from Persia. His name is Rumi. He's an old Persian poet. And he has one saying that I really love. He says, all of your anxiety comes from seeking harmony. Seek disharmony and you will find peace. So let me say that again. All of your anxiety comes from seeking harmony. Seek disharmony and you will find peace. And what that means is sometimes you're trying to run away from the thing that scares you, but you can't. You have to go through it. For example, like the first time you see a tunnel, every child, the first time you see a tunnel, you're scared of that tunnel because it's like a mountain and a dark hole in the mountain. Where does that go? I don't know where that goes. Every child is scared of the first tunnel they see, right? But then you go into the tunnel and you're like, oh my God, it's scary in here. It's dark. But you see that light way down there. You see that light and it's getting bigger. And then you go further and it gets bigger. And then you come out the other side. And then you go, oh, well, that wasn't that bad, was it? And the next time you see a tunnel, it's easier because you went through it.
Hey, that sounds quite like a good philosophy, or you can say, when it refers to our job seeking or seeking opportunities outside of current role, like me, I told you that I'm seeking another job. I'm still feel, I don't know what I'm chasing for. Like staying here sounds quite stable, have a good income, but I still feel disharmony. Like I'm afraid that they may lay off me some days, but when I try to quit and jump out of this plane with a parachute, even I don't have any other jobs. I'm more brave. Like I'm willing to take risk, and now I feel peaceful at least inside because
Right.
after many job interviews, I become more
Yeah,
confident.
that's exactly right. So look, again, I'm a musician, I'm a drummer. I remember the first time that I was on stage. I was 16 years old. Maybe I was 15. I was very young. And
Mhm.
and it was just a very simple thing like my teacher she said, "Oh, you play drums? My church is doing something this weekend. Can you come play the drum and we'll give you $50?" And I was like, "Wow, $50! Yay! I'll do that." So I was the guy who did like the drum roll, right? When they say they're gonna give a prize, I'm the guy who does this, right? I was that guy. I did the drum roll for them, right? And I was so nervous. There's the lights on me, and people are looking at me on stage. And it was a simple job, but I was still nervous. But then I did it, and then I got done. And when I was done, I felt better. And guess what? Every musician, every performer, when you get on stage, we're all scared. We're all scared. But the more we do it, the more confident we get. And then now, when I play drums now, if I get on stage now, I am not nervous. That's home. That's home. I'm more comfortable on stage than off stage. Like, because I've done it so much now, right? And the same thing for teaching. Why am I so comfortable doing this? Because I've done it a lot.
Yeah, I don't say you when you doing this live stream. I think you are like a little bit different from another live streamers because you are really at least professional and pay emotion into this. But some of the streamers they are just like play it, but they don't pay attention to the rare things about like what other learners want to hear. They just play some music and chit chat, but they don't motivate students or um, like that. But after I talk to you, each time I listen to you live streaming, I think you give me a lot of inspiration. Really?
Well, I appreciate that. But Homer, I have been a teacher longer than I have been anything. So I started teaching when I was 18 years old, and I'm 50 now. So I have been teaching most of my life. Most of my life, I have been trying to help people understand. Most of my life, I have been trying to help people become better people. And I love what I do. I love teaching. So when you come here, it's yeah, you're right. I don't even know what anybody else does. I've never seen anybody. I don't watch anybody else really here. So I don't know what anyone else does. I just know what I do. And the only thing that you're seeing honesty because you can't fake passion.
Yeah.
Passion can't be faked. So when you see passion, that's everybody's like, "Wow, look, that's real." You can see that's real. He actually loves what he's doing. That's clear. It's obvious. You can see that. And that is motivating. When you see someone who loves something, their energy makes you feel like you want to have energy. So that's every great teacher is like that. Every great teacher makes you want to learn.
Yeah. Yeah. I think it's like our the passion inside you is actually like a sunshine. It's attractive to other people. When people talk to you, like you passion can help you to be more socializing. And as a teacher, this kind of passion is also attractive to students. Like maybe it's a motivation behind that
Yeah.
makes you want to learn. And if you facing a teacher, they are just doing their jobs and they are tired of these like routine days, you may be affected. They don't have that kind of passion to teach you, and you will lack that kind of um like emotion to learn also, right?
Yeah. I mean, look, teaching is 50% about motivation. And what I tell people is anybody can climb a mountain, but anybody will climb that mountain better if they have a good reason. Right? So if I say, "Oh, can you climb that mountain?" You'll say, "Yeah, I can." But if I say, "Hey, your mom is hurt on the top of that mountain." Now you're going to climb that mountain because you have a good reason, right? So so I as a teacher, I was lucky because my father is a psychologist. And so I grew up with psychology and I thought about psychology in everything I do. I thought about psychology. And in teaching, there is a lot of psychology in teaching. If you understand your students, then you can understand how to motivate them. But if you don't understand your students and what they think and how they think, then you can't really motivate them. Or you can only motivate them one way. Many teachers, that's how they are. They teach one way and then everybody has to accept that one way. But the best teachers, they understand that you need to be able to teach one thing a million ways because there are a million students and they all need it a little bit differently.
I'm also curious about you your career path. Like you mentioned, your father is a psychologist, right? Well, you became a musician and being a teacher. How do you make these decisions?
Well, I became a drummer because I wanted to be a drummer because I loved music. And so I didn't want to do the normal things. I didn't want to do what everybody else did, you know? I could have been, I could have done whatever. I was interested in law. I was interested in architecture. I was interested in science and history. But I loved music and I really wanted to be a drummer. And so for many, many years, I was. That's my job was being a drummer. I played music in bars and clubs and bands and I played all around every kind of music. So from the time that I was 18 until the time I was about 32, that's most of what I did was just music. That's it. And but what I mean is I would teach at a music store. I taught music in the afternoons from like maybe 1 o'clock in the afternoon until about 8 or 9 at night. I had private students. And then after that, I would leave and go to the bar or the club and then play music at night until, from maybe 9 o'clock until 1 in the morning or 10 o'clock until 2 in the morning, and then do that every day. So I taught drums in the afternoons and played drums at night for many, 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 many years. And I was very happy doing that for a long time. And I met famous people and I had a great time and it was wonderful. But any job, if you do any job long enough, sometimes you get tired of it, And
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I got tired of my job too. And so in 2009, I was like really unhappy and very burned out. We call that burned out when you feel like I don't like this anymore.
Mhm,
And I had a friend who was also a musician, and he was living in Taipei teaching English.
mhm,
And he said,
mhm.
"Hey, come over here. You can sleep on my couch. I'll get you a job at the kindergarten, and you can try something different, and just do something completely
Uh,
different." And I did. I quit everything here, and I left and went to Taiwan. And I'd never been to anywhere. I'd never lived in another country. I'd never been to Asia. I'd never been anywhere like that. And I just decided, all right, let's try this. And I did. And I love teaching, so I just had to learn how to do a new kind of teaching English, you know? And uh I was lucky because I grew up in a family where we all cared about language. My mom would correct us all the time. If we said something the wrong way, she would
Yeah, yeah,
correct us, you know?
yeah.
So I naturally already had a high level of English when I began. And then all I had to do was just go back and learn English again. Like, okay, I know English, but now I have to teach English. That's different. Let me go back and learn it again so that I can teach it. And so then that was 2009, and I've been teaching English since then. I still play music. I'm still a drummer too. I do that also.
Yeah. That align with my thinking about your family background. I think your family must support you a lot in your career choice. And I have to mention one of the social influencer I met online. She is I think working in financial companies and have a quite a good income. An annual income we're reaching like 6 digits. You know, she made a choice like to quit that good job and decide to become a stand-up comedian.
Hmm.
And the reason behind is she is really enjoying this kind of making people loving job, because making a lot of money to some degree will no longer make her feeling any happiness, I guess. So I guess you two are kind of similar. When you're chasing something what you really want, you will um, give us something.
Yeah.
Maybe
But I mean, this
in
is,
our eyes is quite like unreasonable or even insane, right?
yeah. It is insane or unreasonable for many people. When they see me, they don't understand why. Especially because, yeah, I could go do, there are many jobs I could go do and I could make a ton of money. I'm sure I could. I'm talented enough. I could do it. But money has never ever ever been a motivator for me.
Yeah.
And that is what makes somebody an artist.
The artist is the most expensive profession or department you if you want to learn it.
You mean to be an artist?
Yeah, to be artist sometimes is cost.
Well,
You need to
sometimes,
spend.
but again, it depends on how you learn. There is no one way to be an artist. That's the beauty of being an artist. An artist is not one thing. There is no one way. There's a million ways, infinite ways to become an artist. But the most important thing about being an artist is just your mindset. You do it because you have to. That's all. You don't even I don't know how to explain it to you. I teach because I love to teach. I play drums because I love to play drums. Making money all happens after that for me. After that, that's never the first thing ever that I think about. I think about what talents do I have? What skills do I have? And how can I use those to make the world a better place?
Mm.
And then money comes after that. And yeah, you're right. I do. I'm lucky that I have a family that supports me in that way. That if I need help, I will have it. And I am lucky that way. Not everybody has that.
Yeah.
But they also see, I think they look at me and they see that I don't make a lot of money, but I do offer a lot of value to people. Like, people appreciate what I do, and my family sees that. And my family supports me because my family sees, they know I'm good at what I do. They know that I'm good. They know that I'm talented and that I should do this. And they understand that there are some times when you see somebody who's so good at something and you say, they have to do this thing. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like it would be a shame if they did not do that thing.
Yeah.
You know, so that's what I feel is that I could go do something else, but at the same time I can't because my heart only shows me the way to go, and my heart never leads to money. My heart leads to the things that make me feel good because those things are things that make other people feel good. Everything that I do, everything that I'm interested in is something that can make the world a better place. I love teaching because when I teach, I can help people. And that makes me feel good that I'm helping people. When I play music, it's like a gift I can give to people. I play music and they have a good time. That's a wonderful thing that I can give that gift to people, that gift of music. I love cooking. Same thing. When I cook for people, it's a gift. When you cook something amazing and they eat it and they love it and they appreciate it, it makes you feel so good to give people that feeling. So everything I do is tied to making to trying to give away what I have, not take.
Yeah, you're quite lucky that you made this choice because I guess 90% of people when they are choosing for a better career, making a decision to find another jobs, the first consideration is still about salary issue, about families when
Yeah,
like
but can
need to
I
relocate.
but let's think about that for a minute. The world is in a pretty bad place right now.
Yeah.
And part of the reason why the world is in a pretty bad place right now is because for the last 50 years or longer, we have been telling everybody in the world that money is the most important thing and everything else comes after money. And now we have a bad world because people care too much about money and not enough about the other things.
Yeah.
We need to flip that. We need to flip that. We need to understand that, guess what? If I walk into a room and you see a Wall Street guy, a guy who has $1 million, he's got tons of money and he's got a fast car and he's got girls and all this, if you see him and you see me, the world I want to live in is the world where the teacher gets more respect than the guy from Wall Street.
Mm.
That's the world that's a good world. But right now, we have a world where the guy from Wall Street is getting all the respect, and that's why we have a shitty world.
Yeah. But how could you possibly run this war not by money? Because
Well,
money drive this war around.
it's not well, okay, but does it though? Does it? What is money, man? What is money? Money is paper and metal. It's only something that we create and we give value to, right? If you take money to the moon, is it worth anything?
Nothing.
Right. So money is not worth anything. It's not worth anything at all. It's only worth what we think it's worth. And that's
Yeah.
important. The value of money is only a construct. It's something that we have created in our head. So yeah, you're right. It is real in the sense that we've made it real, right? We've created a sense of realness around it, right? But that doesn't mean that it's more real than other things. But somehow we've made it feel like money is somehow more real than respect, more real than value, than honor, more real than truth and honesty. You know,
Yeah, yeah.
but it's
Yeah,
not.
sometimes people are chasing money and lose their own times. And, time is limited for everyone, and they
Yeah,
just lacking that kind
that's a
of
perfect example. What
knowledge.
I'm saying is like, look, every old guy who's on the planet, every old guy, do they want more money or do they want more time?
Yeah.
So money is not the most important thing on the planet. Time is the most important thing on the planet. And if time is the most important thing, then we need to think about how do we make the time that we have feel better? And that's why we have to go back to saying that we have to respect people for having value that's good for the community, not value that's good for themselves. So you respect the guy from Wall Street because he has a lot of money for himself. How does that value you? How does that benefit you? How does that help the community? It does not. It does not. But a teacher, the value the teacher has, that benefits the whole community. Not just the teacher. What the teacher is offering is good for everyone. Right? Mm-hmm. So that's why, again, I'm saying this is one of the biggest problems that we have in the world right now is that we are respecting and honoring the wrong people.
Yeah.
You know,
money is powerful. That almost drive people crazy and making another people like broken and bankrupt. I guess people should pay some attention to this kind of weird behavior towards money because some of them will lose their mind, like invest their whole life saving into casinos or just want to gain like double or triple.
Here's one other thing about money is that when you focus on money, you're focusing on everything outside, nothing inside. So the people who focus on money, they're never working on themselves. That's why they're jerks, right? All the rich guys, they're not nice guys. They're not. They're not good people. They're not the best people. They're not. That's partly why they're rich. Rich people are not the generous ones. The generous ones are the ones. This is true. Statistically, you can go and look and see poor people give more money than rich people do.
Yeah.
You know? So, but again, it's just, guys, you just need to remember this is about you. This is about you. When you turn on the TV and you focus on this person and you give all, look, I'm sorry, but people come here and they say, do you like Ronaldo? Do you like Ronaldo, Teacher Mark? Is Ronaldo your favorite player? And I say, I don't care about Ronaldo. I don't even think about Ronaldo. Ronaldo doesn't come into my mind. And the reason why I'm saying that is because, look, that's a sports thing. You're watching some other guy who's really rich do amazing things. Why not try to do some amazing things yourself instead of watching the guy on TV?
Yeah, because it's actually meaningless for yourself. You just watch them doing something you can do.
That's right.
And you can.
That's right. That's right. So look, Ronaldo's probably a nice guy, but what I'm trying to say is, again, a teacher in his community should get more respect than he does, and he should be the one to say that. He should be the one to tell everybody, wait a minute, wait, don't clap for me. No. I just play soccer, man. Don't clap for me. Clap for this teacher who's here helping your students every day. Clap for that teacher clap for that nurse. Clap for that doctor. Clap for that social worker. Those are the people who are helping your community. Those are the people who are really valuable. But we value bling. Bling, it's called bling. Bling is like, look, he's so rich, he's so powerful, he must be amazing. But no, guys, I'm sorry, but the amount of money you have is usually, it's not a sign of how deep you are, it's a sign of how shallow you are.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so look, everybody, I am not money motivated. Okay, I am not. I'm an artist. I'm not money motivated. Okay, and it does cause problems for me because I don't make a lot of money. I don't make a lot of money. Okay, and my life would be easier if I made more money. Okay, but there are a million people online who you can listen to who will tell you that money is the most important thing. So if that's important to you, fine, go listen to them. But I'm trying to tell you that I'm a drummer, I'm a musician, I'm a teacher, and my motivation is not to make people richer. My motivation is to make people better.
Yeah, inspiring.
A teacher is not just teaching information. A teacher is supposed to be somebody who helps you become a better human.
Yeah.
All right?
Yeah, it's not about teaching a language. It's like how to live a better life.
Well, like, look, okay, like when I teach, if I have students and they're taking a test, if one of them cheats, I have to say, you can't cheat. Cheating is not okay. So I'm teaching them about what is okay and what's not okay. And I'm teaching them about self-confidence and self-responsibility. And I'm teaching them about maturity and immaturity. And I'm teaching them about how to not express their emotions improperly, right? Like maybe they're mad at somebody in class and they want to fight. Okay, I get it. You're mad, but fighting is not the way. This is what teachers do. Teachers don't just teach English and math. Every teacher, they have to break up fights. They have to help people talk to each other better. Maybe my student is having problems because their parents got divorced. Maybe my student is having problems because their parents fight all the time or abuse them or something, right? Like you have to pay attention to your students and you have to think about what's important for them, right? And teaching is about not just passing information, but helping people become better people.
Yeah.
And that doesn't stop just because you're an adult. I'm an adult. I'm 50 years old and I'm still learning and I'm still trying to become a better person. That never ends. That never ends. So if I am trying to become a better person still, I want to help you to do the same. I want everybody to be on a path where everybody is every day, your responsibility is to look at yourself in the mirror and say, how can I be better today than I was yesterday? Whatever I was yesterday. Don't compare yourself to other people. Compare yourself to who you were yesterday. And then be better. Okay? So.
Yeah.
Homer, I need to let you go, my friend, because my stomach is making so many noises I need to eat lunch.
Thanks a lot, Teacher Mark.
You're welcome.
Every time I talk to you, I feel I change a lot of opinions towards the old version of me. So you're really inspiring me each time I talk to you. Thanks.
I'm glad. That really is my payment. You know, like in a perfect world, I would get paid money too. but at least I do feel that it feels good to know that what you do helps the world, not hurts the world.
Yeah.
That means a lot to me.
The last time I heard you blaming about a platform, I guess you may leave. I feel quite sad, but I'm really glad that you are back.
Well, I may still end up leaving, but not because just because when I say I might leave and go do it another place.
All right, all right.
So what I mean is like I am not getting enough support here, and I've been here for so long, and I wish they would do better, but they just don't. And I think maybe now they're on this path and I'm on a different path, and that's okay. That's okay. We don't have to have the same path. So I'm trying to think about what I can do where I can continue doing what I love, but not be taken advantage of here, because at this point they are taking advantage of me, and it is not fair and it's not cool. And yeah, like I said, I think maybe when I started, this was a learning app. It was definitely about education. It's not anymore. Now it's definitely more of a social media app, and they don't really care about the learning side so much anymore. And that's fine, but that's all I care about. I don't care about the social media part at all. Do you notice that I don't give out gifts? I don't give out all these coins and all that stuff. I don't do that stuff because I'm a teacher, not a clown. I'm not here to just like, all right, let's give money. Yay, we're giving money. No, I'm here to teach. I don't do that stuff. Hello Talk wants me to do that stuff, but it's not part of my job as a teacher, so I won't. I refuse. That's why they don't help me anymore.
I guess another platform, I mean, the competitors for HelloTalk may increase the users based on like live streamers like you. If you decide to live here and join another platform.
Well,
I guess
we'll see. In my experience, I'll probably guess that they probably won't say anything at all if I leave. I don't think they're going to say anything, unfortunately. Because there is another thing that I've learned the hard way. In my mind, I thought that it would be great if I'm doing really well and I'm becoming more popular, then that benefits them too, right? But they don't see it that way. The way that many platforms see it is they don't want their hosts to get too popular, because if the hosts get too popular, then they have power.
What a conundrum.
Do you get it?
Yeah, it's a dilemma.
Yeah, right. So it's kind of one of those things where they want a host to get a lot of followers, but they don't want the host to have a lot of power. So that's why I have 90,000 followers, which that sounds great, but they do everything that they possibly can to make it so that I can't use that power for anything. And that's on purpose. I know that's on purpose. It's because they want to hold the control. And I get it. But at the same time, I don't get it, because part of any business is taking a risk on somebody. And I have been here for 12 years. I have been live streaming for 5 years. I've never gotten reported for doing anything bad. I have nothing but people who say great things about what I do, but they still don't want to help me. So how much can I do before eventually I say this is not good for me, you know? So I'm probably going to I'm looking at other options of what I could do. Like, you know, maybe I'll do YouTube and Bilibili or something like that instead of Hello Talk. Or maybe I do Hello Talk, but only once a week. You know, maybe on Fridays I'm on Hello Talk and the other days I'm on YouTube and Bilibili or something like that. We'll see. Yeah.
Thanks for your time, Mark.
You're welcome, Homer. I'm going to go eat some lunch, everybody. So if you didn't get a chance to talk to me today, I'm sorry, everybody, but maybe next time I need to go eat some lunch, and then I'll be back a little bit later, maybe, to play some music. I think I'm going to play some drums later for exercise. But yeah, thanks for coming on stage, Homer, and that was a good question. I appreciate that. It's like I said, I only have one rule. If you come on my stage, I just want somebody to have some kind of a question or a topic that we can talk about, you know? And sometimes people come here and they just say, "What's up?" It's like, no, man, no. Come on, bring me something that I can work with. Give me something I can work with, you know? Yes, my YouTube, guys. Everything you need to know about me is in this file right here, guys. This file that I just put in the chat right there. I just typed that file in the chat. It says Teacher Mark's FAQ PDF. Everything about me is in that PDF. My schedule is in that PDF. My YouTube is in that PDF. My website, my blog, that's in that PDF. Everything that you need to know about me is in that PDF. So just copy it and paste it. You can't just click on it. You have to copy it and paste it. Copy it and paste it, and then you can see everything you need about me. Okay? All right, that's going to be it for me. Thanks, Homer, for coming on my stage. I'll see you next time, okay, buddy? Bye-bye, man.
Bye.
All right, and thank you guys also for watching and listening. And yeah, I will be back, I think, after lunch. I'm going to play some music, and then we'll see. All right, so have a good morning, have a good afternoon, have a good evening, wherever you live, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.